And for Casimero, what do we expect for Casimero this coming few months?
There's
Do
only
we
two
expect a
fights.
fight for
There's only
Inoue?
two fights. There's only two fights. They got to happen. Donaire, Inoue. I don't know what order, but that's it. Casimero does not need to fight anybody else. Those two fights need to happen.
And what do Filipino expect for the fight of Manny Pacquiao and also Magsayo?
Well, first of all, Mark Magsayo, expect fight of the night type fight. Julio Ceja brings the heat, just like your Mexican fighters. I mean, he comes forward, he doesn't stop. Mark has a Bruce Lee kind of style. He pounces, he moves, throws a lot of combinations, good punching. That to me is the fight of the night right there. Senator Pacquiao, just never in a bad fight. He's going to come out as he always does. He's going to use his speed, his movement, his power, and him and Ugas are going to be very entertaining.
And for Casimero, what do we expect for Casimero this coming few months? Do we expect a fight for Inoue?
There's only two fights. They got to happen. Donaire, Inoue. I don't know what order, but that's it. Casimero does not need to fight anybody else. Those two fights need to happen.
What's up, Sean GIbbons, the Hayat Team Motor, Manny Pacquiao Promotions. How's your voice now after the Casimero versus Rigondeaux?
You know what? I got punished. I got punished that I shouldn't have been yelling like a dum-dum. It's just coming back, but I can tell you this: I will never. They could pay me, put a gun to my head. I will never now fight. I just never been so upset in my life that he robbed the fans, he robbed everybody, he robbed Casimero, who wanted to fight, and I kind of lost my marbles that night.
Yeah, I lost it too. My video went viral. I said, ban Rigondeaux from televised fights. Put him on TikTok or Facebook. Something like that.
Well, the worst part is he was banned. Bob Arum gave his contract back, right?
Top Rank said, Bob would say I would bring him up to HBO.
Yeah, years ago Bob banned him, and then he waited. What threw me off was his last couple fights against Ceja and Solis. I thought, well, maybe the guy's gotten a little older. He's gonna stand and fight. Man, have I ever been so wrong in my life? The first time a punch whizzed by his head in the first round, which was a knockdown.
Yeah.
But Casimero got a little anxious and hit him 3 times when he was on the ground. That was a knockdown. Once he felt that, he didn't want to see nothing. And again, I throw up when people go, oh, it's boxing. It's the
hit and not get hit.
Yeah, Whitaker. No, you hit. You don't get hit, and you hit somebody.
Yes.
He didn't do that.
It's about scoring. It's about scoring.
Whitaker, Mayweather, all the great ones, the counterpunchers, they did it beautifully. They made you miss and they made you pay.
Yeah.
That's boxing, and the judging of it, you just can't judge. I mean, not that Casimero was that effective, but the other guy is so less effective that you got to give him the fight regardless.
Yeah, nobody really trains for boxing to track and fields and things of that nature. But what do you feel about this match? The preparation. How many days of sparring?
Basta Sports, JMELO.
Basta Sports, JMELO.
Basta Sports, JMELO.
Basta Sports, JMELO.
Basta Sports, JMELO. That's what I follow. Basta Sports, JMELO. Thank you very much, Bob.
They give him the fight regardless.
Yeah, nobody really trains for boxing to track and fields and things of that nature. But what do you feel about this match? The preparation. How many days of sparring did Manny Pacquiao or Ugas have for each other? Do you think it's going to come into play?
Well, all I can say, for a left-hander to go to fight a right-hander, it's a natural. That's normal. They do it their whole lives. For a right-hander to move to fight a left-hander, and not any left-hander, Manny Pacquiao, who you can't even really prepare for. You could spar with guys, but nobody emulates Manny like Manny. So I think it's definitely at a disadvantage for Ugas. I think Manny's fine. He did about 30 rounds that last week, sparring with right-handers. But just a natural transition for him. Whereas Ugas is going to have a lot of trouble. And I can't remember the last left-hander Ugas has been in the ring with.
You think Ugas style is tailor-made for Manny Pacquiao?
I think absolutely. I mean, when your feet are slow, you're in trouble. I mean, Miguel Cotto is not that slow, and man, they were coming from all sides, whatever. Now that was, quite a few years ago. It just depends. If it's Manny Pacquiao, if I Keith Thurman, that game is over.
Yeah.
Sean, was there any hesitancy for you? Just Ugas is a real guy, you know what I mean? He's just unknown. He's kind of been that guy that is more risk than reward. Were you kind of like maybe we should wait, see what happens with Spence, or were you kind of on board? Where were you sitting on that?
Well, like you said, the risk and reward, it's getting paid very well still. But I'm not sleeping on Ugas, and I'm not saying overlooking him when I say Manny's going to stop him. I just feel it's the right style for Manny. As a matchmaker, I just feel he's right, and He's just never been in the ring with someone like Manny. And I watched Abel Ramos buzz him twice. You know, his legs went.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been training like the guy that fought Sean Porter. He was up in Washington, D.C. with the Cuban protest. His mindset was Fabian Madonna. So he had a week or 10 days, whatever the time was, the switch and getting gears for Manny Pacquiao, which there's no pressure on him. No one expects anything out of him. So in that case, you know, he's going to feel good in there. But man, you've never been in with Manny Pacquiao. You have a lot of ideas. Like Mike Tyson said, if someone hits you in the mouth, and all of a sudden it's going to be a whole different game.
Shan, from the number one outreach station in the Philippines, Bomborad.
Bakit uplo?
Kakaiba bang screen?
Okay.
Side.
Okay.
Pag nawala ng signal, meron pang isa. Ano to, cellphone?
Yeah, sir. Para walang magulo pag natatawag.
Siyempre, minsan nawawala ang signal. Tumulong. Nawawala. Mintis ito, meron pa.
Naka-data lang. Okay. Hindi ka na mawayip.
Sir Chan, how you handle the situation that replacement for 10 days for Manny and Gibbons? You're the one who
I mean, basically, Ugas was on the undercard. He was presented to the senator. The senator really handled everything. He digested all the information, looked at everything, and he made the decision that, you know, he trained all this time, he was ready to fight. So, basically, that was it. It wasn't that hard of a decision.
right now, big opportunity for Magsayo. How the plan when Magsayo win this card?
Oh, I can tell you, the fight of the night is Mark Magsayo, Julio Sale. The guy that has a breakout performance, it's all up to Mark. We put him in the position, Senator Pacquiao gave him a marking spot, and if Mark can do what he needs to do, he's going to look at the $1 million. That's the best fight of the undercard.
So the thing is, Philippines versus Mexico. They bring it back. How is this coming back for the boxing fan?
Well, I think the fans love it because people like mixed matches and, you know, rivalries countries, Philippines, Mexico, and Senator Pacquiao developed into one of the greatest, you know, matchups of countries in boxing. So it's just real passionate fans from both places, from Mexico and the Philippines. So I think, you know, that's what's going to make it such a great fight too.
And so final question. Ugas versus Pacquiao. What they expect for Saturday night?
Well, I think the first few rounds, I think Ugas will do well, but I think as the fight goes on, Senator's speed and movement is going to break him down and stop him in the 9th round.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
This one for you.
Oh,
My gift is from the Dolphins.
Thank you.
Take picture.
Please.
Picture.
They wear this at night.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you.
Doctor, you're taking a cold. Mayweather here, so I feel good. Good. It's going to be something good. Nice. He was in Malaysia with us. I was laughing until I forgot. I was like, you were there when Manny scored his last KO. We're going to announce after the fight, Mayweather versus Pacquiao. It's going to be Jeff. It's going to be Jeff.
By the way, when they did the tickets for this, did they ever do like hard tickets at the price on it?
Yeah.
Not when you were at St. Louis?
Yeah. No, you know what? Let me see, because David didn't pick him up. So, Manny's ticket allotment was picked up before he pulled out. So he should have.
Do you have any whips that annually gets after the fight?
Yeah, let me talk.
Basta Sports, JMELO.
Basta Sports,
Basta
JMELO.
Sports, JMELO.
Basta Sports, JMELO.
Kasama ko po si Teofimo Lopez. Basta Sports, JMELO.
Basta Sports, JMELO.
Thank you.